Hey, welcome guys. Welcome to our group call, the 11th of August. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. And I hope you guys have been enjoying the signal chart. We've really had some incredible signals this morning or this evening so far, US time. And if I just bring up this, I remember when I switched it on, the price was over here. And so we had this move from there to this arrow over here, a switch over there, and then we had this one all the way up to this arrow over here. So pretty awesome. Let me remove my camera. So that was an incredibly big move, actually. If I bring up the ticks, the tick counter, that's like 185 ticks going up there. We had a 60 tick move there, and now the price is just like bobbing around here. So some really awesome moves, a really good signal chart. So we're going to cover today a bit on the Medina Wick Trader. Now, looking at a signal chart like this, it's very handy to use in combination with the Medina Wick Trader, because what you're able to do is you're able to start and pause the strategy. You're able to choose a direction, bias. You're able to choose a whole lot of different sections or settings within the strategy, which makes it extremely powerful. I mean, just look at this move now. You know, we've had these breakout markers left behind, the red one, and the latest one was the white one, with our shadow trading moving. Our shadow trading, I almost said moving average. It's not a moving average. With our shadow trading marker being left behind, and then we've had these bars come down. There's 20, there's 40, there's 60 ticks already in this move. Bars even change color. So, you know, it is such an incredible signal chart to have. You know, it's really priceless. I mean, if you had to really spend some time looking at this and, you know, get a feel for it, enter some trades, you know, manual trading, activating automated strategies. I mean, look, we've gone 20, 40, 60, 80, almost 100 ticks in the last, you know, few seconds. So getting a feel for this, trading this, you know, it is such a powerful tool. I mean, there's literally nothing like this that exists, you know, anywhere. Nobody else has anything remotely accurate like this and as powerful as this. I love it. So a lot of time went into putting this together. So all these indicators you're seeing on this chart, they have been put together, you know, over a long period of time, really fine-tuned. So, you know, absolutely fantastic. And it's not the only signal chart that we have. You know, we have, you know, like this take it and run, which is another amazing one put together by Paul, one of our subscribers, just giving you a really beautiful look at price, at the different, I mean, this is a moving average band over here with all different moving averages. So that's a simple one. But then we've got a few other indicators in here that are really helping to determine what price is doing. Love it. Okay. And then a few others. All right. So we'll go out of this and we will switch to another workspace. I might just close this workspace. So the cool thing about this is that when you're a DTB subscriber, the workspaces and everything are already provided. So you basically start NinjaTrader, you import the tools, you run the script, and then you load the workspace. So like this individual workspace we were looking at there was this one over here, and it comes up exactly like this. So pretty awesome. So I'm going to just close that for now, and I'm going to save it. We'll look at this Medina Wick Trader strategy in a moment, but we'll first just cover some of the results from last week. So thank you guys for posting in the public Discord channel. So, you know, this channel over here, you'll see it hasn't got a lock on it. So this is available publicly. So I appreciate you guys, you know, putting your results in here. It's really good just to show other members or to show other, you know, people in the community, not the DTB traders community, but, you know, anybody that's looking to find a system that generates results. You know, it's really good for them to be able to see what people are are doing with the system. So we've had some reasonably new subscribers jump in over the last couple of weeks, and some of them have come and put their results in here too. So thank you. That's awesome. I mean, look at this. That's awesome. I love it. So, this is just creating templates yourselves, running some signal charts. Thank you for posting this. You guys have got VPS systems, which is nice. So, excuse me, I've got still a little bit of congestion in the system. We've got some really awesome posted results. So keep doing this, because it helps, just expand the community. Bruce, thanks for posting this too. So, this is just, remember last week on the group call, I spoke about the flat baseline chart. I said, guys, just load up the flat baseline chart, enter some manual trades, load up your volume, which you've done over here. Just enter a few manual trades based on what you're seeing. I mean, the price, you're going to constantly see these wicks and new baselines forming. So it's such a beautiful way to read price. And I know I went on a bit last week about, how stupid it is to look at candlestick charts, 5-minute charts, 10-minute charts, 50-minute charts, because, you really do not get a clear picture of what price is doing on a chart like that. I mean, with this, you can see it, that's the baseline. Like, there's a baseline, there's a baseline. The price is going between baselines. And we're talking about like 200 ticks here. I mean, there's 200 ticks between there and there. So, you get the price moving around, forming baselines. And, when it forms these wicks, it's either going to come back to the baseline or go form a new baseline, and then you're looking at the volume, and then the volume is telling you, okay, where's the buy sell pressure? What's happening? What is happening in the market? What is likely for the price to do next? So just entering a few manual trades like that. And what was this? Between, 142 and 247. It's like an hour. He spent an hour and he's made like $200. Just on MNQ. So, I mean, this is the type of thing that you can do with a signal chart like this. A very simple chart. I mean, you don't have to know all different candlestick analysis. All you have to know is where the baselines are, the size of the wicks, which is it's all on a plate and showing you that. All right, so some more amazing things posted in there. Okay, good. Nice, very nice. So I do like this, and some of you guys have been running the automated strategies chart list, which is nice, which is working well. Friday was a good day for Mr. Vinu, which was awesome. Thank you for that. And so that was the general group results. Now, the game plan last week, I started off pretty good on the game plan. But we had some very, very crazy market activity last week. So I kind of bombed out a bit on the templates. Now, the thing is, I shared some templates at the beginning of the week. And if you look at our game plan, you'll see that, this is the game plan. And these were the templates that were shared at the beginning of the week. Now, my specific templates weren't doing fantastically well. But as you can see from the other results being shared, in the group results, some people have created their own template. So, I don't have the time or the energy or the patience to go and redo templates at this moment, like even midweek. So theoretically, what I should have done on even Wednesday, before the Wednesday session, is go and re-optimize templates, just adjust some things, just to become more in tune with the market. Because, the whole idea with optimization, the whole idea with running, the strategy analyzer and running optimization on templates is to determine what the current heartbeat of the market is. Now, obviously, last week we had a major shit fight. A small, tiny island nation impacted the whole American economy, which is crazy. Anyway, so besides all that, we've had, it's good to be able to do re-optimizations and just adjust some targets, adjust some stops, adjust some daily things like that, so that you can become more in tune with the current market condition. So I didn't do that last week, but some of you guys did, and that's really awesome to see. So game plan, So we had a few losing days. I mean, like this, Bruce, we had some really shit templates. I had some, I didn't have good templates last week, I must be honest. I do get it wrong sometimes, and I spend so much time on them, but who would have known? the next week would have been an absolute shit fight. But there still was profit made, even though some templates did lose. I had good results, on a lot of the templates. So not every single day, obviously. Like I said, I did stop trading middle of the week, and then I picked it up again on Friday. So yeah, there's definitely work to be done with the templates. Sometimes the templates will work perfectly fine for the whole week because you have like semi-consistent market activity. It's just like at the beginning of last week, we had a complete shuffle up in the market. So you can imagine that strategies won't behave the same way during major turbulent conditions as they would during more stable conditions. And last week we had more of a turbulent one. But the funny thing is, and this is the shit fight that I got to deal with, and the frustration I got to deal with. Like for example, here is the MGC, it's the micro gold. Okay, so the strategy entered trades over there, and literally by a ball hair got stopped out, and then turned completely around. So last week we had a situation where we had 3 days where we got stopped out within 10 ticks. So if the price hadn't moved like that 10 ticks within, it was 7 ticks, 3 ticks, and 1 tick. That was what happened. The turnaround, kind of screwed us a little bit. So that happened. And then like I said, there we go. So that would have hit targets. This type of thing, it's what we deal with. That's just life, right? We can't expect everything to be perfect all the time, but generally, just by a small margin, we have this. Okay. So there again, look at this. It's literally stopping out by tiny bits. This one's only a 13 tick bar. So if you look at this stop and you look at this stop, it's literally within 10 ticks again. But that that's it, right? Like I said, that's what we got to do. And then I had a losing day on the 8th, 1-1. When I have losing days, they're not crazy bad, so that's good. Again, sharing there. So, and then on Friday, I told you guys on Thursday, hey guys, just this week's a shit fight. Don't run the game plan templates. And then, but I always run them because, I need to do that just to show you guys the result. And then Friday ends up being a freaking powerhouse day. So, that's Murphy's Law, right? So, I had an amazing day on Friday. All the freaking templates hit their profit targets. It just kicked ass. So that's what happens, eh? Anyway, so again, guys, I see there's a message in the group call, so I will answer any questions that you guys have. Okay, so maybe an idea is use a smart exit. I like the word smart. That resonates with me, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, so let me know what you're talking about, and we'll go from that. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys some of the updates first. So I'm going to just pop on a simple chart over here. Let's go with the DTB bars and like a 40 and a 40. Let's just load. I'm going to load 15 days on this. Okay. What workspace do I have here? Excuse me. All right. While this is loading, I'm just gonna drink some of my coffee. I made some nice coffee earlier. So we'll go through. We're going to cover the Medina Wick Trader strategy. I think I want to cut the strategy into like 3 sessions because it's quite a complex strategy. Initially when you're first looking at it. So we'll just cover, the basics with the stops, the targets, and all that type of thing in the beginning, and then we'll cover the more complex things. As soon as you know the fundamentals. If you know the fundamentals and the basics of the strategy, then we can move on to the more advanced features of the strategy, but we'll probably do that on next week's call. So I'll just wait for this. Shouldn't be taking so long. Let me just switch it to a smaller one. I mean, it shouldn't take long, for goodness sake, you know. Sometimes you just load something that's like immediate. Other times it's like takes forever. Sometimes you got to freaking disconnect and reconnect. You know, I call it the mysteries of NinjaTrader. You don't know what you're gonna get. Okay, so come on. So you can't do shit. You can't do anything while this thing is loading. So let me just switch to a different data series. Maybe, you know, I don't know. Let's go 15 minute. All right. I wonder if it's because I've got a strategy on the chart, even though it's not enabled, it's still on the chart. I wonder if that's the problem. I mean, if I was programming this, it wouldn't be the problem at all. Oh, yeah, you see, that's bullshit. I'm sorry, guys. You got to sort your stuff out, man. There's a strategy loaded on this chart, but it's not active. But because of that, NinjaTrader is taking very long to load. I mean, I don't understand that at all. Like, it's like makes zero concept to me. Okay, so anyway, indicators. Do I have anything updated in the indicators? Let me have a quick look. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll through the indicator list here very quickly. So okay, we covered that. Remember, we covered the trade zone last week and the trade zone extension. Okay, so we'll look at that in a strategy. So what I've done, okay, so there's nothing new in the indicator settings. So what I've done here is I've put in an additional strategy. Now, I've been asked a lot about the trade zone. So what we've done is we put a strategy called the trade zone strategy. Now, it's not a very advanced strategy. In fact, it's a pretty simple strategy. I don't really like the idea of having major simple strategies, but it's decent. Okay, so it's got a max daily loss, it's got a painting bars, it's got the daily profit targets. But the cool thing about this is it's got different sessions. So it's got different sessions throughout the day, so different time zones throughout the day. So what this does is it measures the zone between certain times of the day, and it plots that on the chart. And then what it does is it will enter trades based on a specific entry, so a percentage entry. So let me activate it on 50, like it is at the moment, which is just a very simple thing. So, and I'll show you what the 50% looks like. So I'll just enable this, apply, and okay. We've got a few days loaded over here. Now, it's not something that can be put through the strategy analyzer at this stage. It is a strategy that works on each tick. So I'll just show you what this does, and then you can see exactly what it does. So you'll see over here, like here's one of the entries. So there's your trade zone. Okay, so between the hours of 12 and 12 and 1, which is one of the time frames in there, what this does is it enters a trade at a certain percentage. So there's on 50. You can see, so when it hits 50%, it'll enter a trade. So, and that's outside of the range. So I'll go to, and you'll see it's got the Fibonacci, values over there. So it's got the 23, 38, 50, 61, like that. So you don't have to choose a very specific Fibonacci level. You can choose any percentage level out the zone. So what it's going to do is it's going to measure the zone, and it's going to enter a trade at a certain percentage out of that zone, and it's going to enter a long trade above and a short trade below. So if I go over here and I change this to, like, let's make it 70%. Okay, so 70%. And activate the strategy. I've got slippage and everything in there, so these are actual, more decent results. It's not a money printer like some of our other strategies. So like there is 70%. So you'll see if I do this, and I go like this, you'll see there's the entry, at 70% and it bought and sold. So, and what it'll do is every single time, like there's another example, you see, so it drew the zone, it waited for the price to touch 70%, and then it entered a position and had a profit target. Now, this is obviously a very small profit target on here. So if I go to the settings and I just go to, what do we have? We've got 240. I don't know, let's try and make it 100. Let's see what happens. So 100. I haven't played around too much with the actual, trying to find the best settings of this. All I've done is basically just make sure that the strategy itself is working properly. So like there, it's a little bit higher. So $300, 78%, 200 drawdown, and there it's entering there. So you'll see it entered at the 70 and targeted there. So if I go to this and I measure that, you'll see that that is the, there's the target. So I mean, it's a good little strategy. I mean, if any other company had this, any other vendor, they'll be raving the shit out of it. But it pales in comparison to our other strategies. But it's still pretty good. I mean, like there's a losing position, all right? So there it hit the, the 70% and then turned around. And then there's a trade from the previous zone. So it just basically draws the zones and it colors the bars based on this one too, on the strategy line, which is one of our indicators. And, it's going to enter that. So you can go into the strategy settings, and you can go and specifically choose which zones you want to use. And you can adjust these zones. So the reason why I've included this strategy too is because it does have this feature of different times of the day. So it's something that we can play around with and get ideas for other strategies too. I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. So like, for example, we can disable a few of these zones, right? So let's leave, I don't know, let's take a few of these off like this. And then activate the strategy again. So now it should only show the zones between 5 and 8. I mean, and you can adjust this. If you only want this to be, 30 minutes or 20 minutes or 10 minutes, you can do the same thing over there. Okay, well, that showed a lot more profit. I didn't plan this, right? I just selected some zones. So like there, so that's what that's going to do. Now it's only going to draw those specific zones for that time of the day. Okay, so there it's gone, and it's an interesting concept. It's a nice concept where you because we covered this zone the other day on a previous call. So it's gonna draw the zone, and then it's gonna trade and exit out of that. Now there are some additional settings in the strategy. But in the meantime, it's probably a good idea just to work with that. If you want to have a look at this strategy, it's got a few adjustments for, obviously the percentage which we looked at, but it's also got for confirmation bars, using that thing. Now it's also got a retracement trade. Now, if I look at this, let's just make this, I just want to make this 100 and do a retracement. Let me just see how this actually works. So we've done 100% and a retracement trade. So, okay, that didn't look too good. But what this basically does is it's going to draw the zone, and instead of doing a trade, with the trend, it's going to do a retracement trade at that percentage level. Now, look, I did 100, you see? So you can go into the strategy settings and you can adjust this value over here. So if I go in here, now I've got 100%, but you can actually go 200% if you wanted to, right? So any percentage that you want to go, you can actually pop that in and activate that. We'll just let this enable. Okay, so there's 200%. So what that means is that it's looking for the price to move 200% away from this. Now, where is? I don't see any trades there. What's happening here? Let me just increase this by a little bit. Okay, give it a sec. Oh God, I should have maybe disabled the strategy first, right? Okay, so that wasn't, it wasn't successful, but look over there. So you see there's the entry there. So it's at the second line. So as you can see, each of these lines represents like 100%. You see, so there's 100%. There's the 200% volume mark. So it entered a trade at the 200 and, you know, traded that way. So if I go to like the strategies over here and I adjust this and I just disable the retracement trade and I just have that specific trade, and we'll enable this again. So it's like a small scalping strategy, this basically. It's not a huge money spinner, but I think it will still generate results. It'll still generate positive results, but it might just require a little bit of, you know, of work on it. So like there's an example, there's the sell at 200%. So I mean, like I said, it's not a huge money spinner, but you know, it's pretty good. It's pretty okay. Like there's, you know, there it is. There's some trade. So yeah. Anyway, enough about that. It's just included there for the guys who want some options. So different options. Okay, cool. So let's move on. Strategies. I'm going to take this off and I'm going to go like this. So that's the trade zone strategy. I haven't worked on too many of the others. I did pop a new update in the assemblies for it's called the 12th of August. We'll go through what that is in a moment. Oh shit, the coffee was a bit cold now, man. Damn it. It wasn't so good. Ugh. All right. Okay, so let me just gather my thoughts. Okay, yeah, so 12th of August. So what I've done with the assembly for the 12th of August is I've incorporated the minute bar, a 1 minute bar into the daily stops and targets. Oh yes, there we go, strategy. So daily stops and targets, I've incorporated the minute bar. So what will happen is when you got your daily stop and target, it's going to work on the minute bar. So whichever bar you're working on, it's going to, you know, calculate the daily stop and target based on a 1 minute bar. So every time a 1 minute bar updates, it's going to check the daily stop and target to see if it's been met or not. So that is what that's going to do. Now, this is a very cool thing. So what I've done over the last week is I have made a significant update to the strategy, the daily stops and targets. So what happened last week, you guys commented, you know, this, like you had a strategy that was up $1,000 and then you had a $500 drawdown in there, but you actually ended up with an $800 loss. So the trailing drawdown wasn't being calculated 100% properly. So now it has been. So what the strategy trading drawdown does is, you know, when the strategy goes up by, say the strategy goes up and makes $500 and then it drops down $500, that's where the strategy will stop. Okay, that's what the value is meaning. Okay. Now, what I've done too is I've done the exact same thing with the account. So I've fixed up the account. The account is now working beautifully. Okay. So you are able to adjust. I mean, this is institutional grade improvements, right? What you have over here is amazing. So all the strategies that have the global the money management for strategies and the global management for accounts, it's going to work like this. So what you're able to do now is you're able to select an account in your drop down menu, and as soon as you select your account, you've got to basically know a couple of things. So I'll just look at this. So like as an example, Sim copy 101. Let's just use number 4 because it's got a nice round number. Okay. So you can obviously apply this to any account. So if you go to your strategy, we'll go back in there. I think you guys are going to really love this, man. This is an absolute game changer. Like 100% game changer. Actually, I might just activate this on a chart, on a DTB bars chart. So when I activate the strategy, we actually have, we actually have the right stuff going on. Oh crap, have I gone and done the wrong thing again? I will just quickly duplicate this in a new window, and then I will close this one just so that it doesn't have the strategy loaded on the chart. And see how fast that loads, eh? Okay, so that's a lesson for you guys, and I didn't even realize that was the case. So whenever you're loading a chart, make sure there's no strategy loaded on a chart, even if it's just on the chart without even being enabled. Okay, so a bit of a lesson there. You learn new things every day with this stuff, I'm telling you. Okay, so going back to the accounts, freaking amazing. You guys are going to love this. I'm extremely excited about it because it's like such an improvement. So you select your account. Now we went to 4. So what you can do over here is any strategy, and let me repeat, any strategy that you are running on an account, you can have these settings activated. So say, for example, I'm running 4 strategies on the sim copy 4 account. And this can be your live account. It can be any account that you want to use. Okay. You can say, okay, I'll bring this a bit closer so that it's, you can see the actual things. You can say, I want the account profit target balance. So if you use the account profit target balance and you see the account was on 10,000, so you can go 10,500. Oh, crap. 10,500. So what you can do now is if you activate the strategy, now you've got to choose it over here too, right? So you've got to have the strategy matching over there and over there. So when you select this button over here and you activate the strategy, what will happen is any strategy that you have activated that's got the same setting. So remember, if you've got 4 strategies operating and you want the account that it's trading on. So say you might have an MNQ, you might have an MES, you might have an MGC, you might have all different strategies running on a single account. Okay. What will happen is all strategies will stop trading. Like all of them will stop trading when the account balance that the account is trading on hits 10,500. So very awesome. Okay, so that's how that is going to work. Now, so that's the first setting, all right? So 10,500. Now you can also have an account stop loss. So you can say, okay, I've got $10,000 in my account. I do not want my account to drop below 9,500. Okay, so if you use the account stop loss like this, and you can have them both activated at the same time, right? So you can have this set up, and what will happen is all strategies that are trading will stop trading when your account hits a certain value. Now remember, again, every single strategy has to have the same account selected and the same value selected. You can't have different values in here, unless you want one specific strategy to trade, to a higher value, but you don't want that. You want to keep it simple and have a very specific value in there. So very awesome. Like I said, you can run multiple strategies and they all will stop because I've created some coding and communication that the strategies can communicate with each other. So I'm telling you, this is major institutional shit, right? This, you will never see anything like this. I've never ever seen anything like this available. So I love developing. I love creating. I've got an extremely expansive mind that just can read code in a different way, that can just see things. I'm really passionate about this shit, right? So it makes me always want to keep improving and releasing incredible things. Okay, so that's that. Now, the next one over here is use account profit target. Okay, so first of all, before we move on, like these ones over here, if you've got these activated, okay, this, like I said, the strategies will stop trading. Now, it will just completely stop trading. Even the next day, I mean, if you've got a strategy enabled for a whole week and you've got this set up, the strategies will trade until one of these are met. And as soon as they're met, they will stop trading for the rest of the week. And it'll stop trading until the end of time, until you go and change these values in the strategy settings. Okay, so that's how those work. They will completely stop trading. And it will tell you on the chart also that the account target has been met or the account stop has been met. So that's that. So these will stop trading until the strategy has been restarted and these values have been adjusted because it's constantly checking your account balance to see where it is, where the strategies are. Okay, now this is the third option in here. It's called the use account profit target. Now, this one over here, what this does is you can say, I want to target $500. So every strategy that I've got on my trading, every single strategy trading on an account, they must all stop when the account has made $500. So again, you could have an MGC, you could have MNQ, you could have MES, you could have multiple strategies trading on one account. And when the account hits $500 profit, they all will stop trading. And the beauty about this is it will reset every trading day. So every single trading day, it will trade up to 500 and then stop trading. And the next day, at the beginning of the trading day, it will try again to trade up to 500 and then it will stop. Okay, so that's how that works. Use account profit target. It's a daily reset. Now, the next one is the account trailing drawdown. Now, with this one over here, the same thing applies. So you can say, okay, all of my strategies, I do not want more than an $800 drawdown per day on any strategy that I've got running. So again, you can have 3, 4, 5 strategies running on an account. When the account hits a $800 drawdown for the trading day, it will stop all of those strategies. So pretty freaking amazing. Now, you do have a bar size over here to determine these daily exits. Now, if you activate that on 1, that's a range bar 1. I mean, the strategy will have to process all of those bars. Okay, so when you first load the strategy, it's going to take a bit longer to load. It's going to calculate because it's actually loading at 1 range bar. But the benefit of having a low number is that it's going to react very fast. Like if you have this on like a 50 bar, this is only going to be calculated once every time the price moves a 50 range bar. So you're going to get a lot less granularity. Is that the word? It's going to be far less granular having a larger value. So you might say okay, well 10 ticks. So every 10 ticks on every strategy. Like again, these must match. So whatever settings here, you got to have them match. I wonder if I can create a template over here that can be selected for. That's maybe a bit complicated. It's not complicated. It just means I fucking another 2 days of work, which I don't actually feel like doing. Which I shouldn't have said out loud. Okay, but this is pretty simple. I mean, you just got to have you choose your account and you look at your account balance and you select this. Okay, and like I said, these settings over here are, you can have them for the whole week. I mean, you don't have to adjust them. It's only these ones. If you use these ones over here, then you have to specifically deactivate the strategy and choose and put in your target balance. So you've actually got to put in based on what your current balance is of your account and put this value in. So obviously, if you've made $10,500 and you activate the strategy and you forget to change this $10,500, then obviously you're not going to have any trades, right? Because the account is already at $10,500. So remember that. Now, again, also, like I said, the trading drawdown on the strategy level is resetting every day. So that's there. The strategy daily profit target, these will reset every day. So, if you set these values up, if you put these in there, whatever values you put there, they are going to be respected. But then you've also got the account level. So this is very beneficial if you're trading, if you want to have multiple strategies optimized and you want to, I mean, imagine the chance of success using this. I mean, you highly optimize 3 or 4 strategies, have them all trading on the one account, all different instruments, and they all will stop trading at a certain value. I mean, that is freaking amazing. Like I said, this is institutional grade stuff, right? You're not going to see this anywhere else. Okay, so that's what I'm more excited about is this feature over here. I mean, I've had this account stuff in here, but it wasn't quite working 100%. I mean, it was working semi-okay, but now it's extremely fine-tuned. And the really cool thing about this too is you can use this in the strategy analyzer. So you are actually able to use your account profit target in your strategy analyzer, and you're able to use this in there. So, you're able to actually calculate you're able to optimize a whole period of time. And during that period of time, you can say, I want my account profit to be $500 per day, which is similar to the strategy profit, obviously. But, you can have also the account trading drawdown. So obviously when you're running optimizations between multiple strategies, it's only going to do one at a time. But I'm just saying this is compatible with the strategy analyzer. So just bear that in mind. Okay, cool. So that's really cool. So every strategy has that. I mean, the advanced retracement, the strategy line. And so you can run any strategy and they will all be able to communicate with each other and determine what the account strategy is. So cool. Okay, so Mike, account stop loss. Can you confirm that is a balance or an amount? The profit says account balance, but stop doesn't. Okay, so let's just go look at that again. So account, right? So account name, use account profit target balance, use account stop loss. Yeah, it's the same. It's the balance. It's the balance. I've actually got to put balance. I just got to put balance in there. So it's exactly the same. Like I said, it's just 10,500. That is using the profit balance or using the account stop loss at 9,500. So it's basically the balance of the account. So the balance of the account mustn't go below 9,500 and the balance of the account mustn't go above 10,500, or they must stop at those values or very close to those values based on what you've got over here. It's only the account profit target. Oh shit, I can understand why it's a little bit confusing, which is probably why I'm spending a bit of time on this. But I should put their daily reset. I'm actually going to make a quick note. So I'm going to just put their account. I'm just going to make account daily, stops and targets. Okay. I must put their daily resets. Daily reset or not. Okay, cool. So I will do that this week. It's literally just some freaking text. I'm going to put it into the description. So it's not difficult for me to do. I can pop it in. So, yeah, I love that. I mean, that's freaking amazing, guys. That is really amazing. Like I said, I've tested it the week. It works beautifully. So obviously if there's any issues, you guys are going to let me know, right? Okay, let's go to our Medina Wick Trader. Crap, it's already 10:44. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to make this complicated for you guys. We're literally going to go do the very simple setup and the running of the Medina Wick Trader. So if you want to run the Medina Wick Trader, the best chart to start on, okay, the best chart is a 201 chart. Now just load 0 days on your chart. And you can leave the break at end of day off on this, that's fine. So load 201 with day 0, break end of day off. Okay, now that's going to show you the baseline. So as you can see, we've had a few baselines. The price started at 6 p.m. it went down 200, 400 ticks, came back up, and now it's back at the baseline. You see how they freaking manipulate price, eh? These bastards. Anyway, so you can see where these baselines are, right? And we've had a nice wick over here. We've had a wick that's basically gone, 100. It's pretty good, right? Okay, so we're going to go to the strategies, and we're going to go to the Medina Wick Trader strategy. Now, on the Medina Wick Trader strategy, you've also got the exact same settings for the account targets. I mean, you could be running the Medina Wick Trader strategy, the baseline Wick Trader strategy, the SI strategy. If they've all got the same setting, they're all going to stop trading at certain levels. I mean, I don't think you guys understand how freaking amazing this is. Okay, but besides that, we'll move on, all right? So I'm not going to cover the ludicrous mode because that is more suited for the minute bars. Okay, so we're going to leave that. Daily stops and targets, I'm not going to use them right now. They're pretty self-explanatory. You know how they work. We're not going to activate this part, but we are going to work with this. So retracement. So retracement is the amount of ticks the price has to retrace from its high or its low to enter a position. That's what that is. It's not a complicated thing. Trade size, obviously the size of the trade. Maximum entries per direction. How many trades the strategy must enter in max. Minimum distance from baseline to enter position. So when you're looking at the baseline, okay, so you're looking at this is the baseline over here. So minimum distance is obviously the price has to first move a minimum distance before it even considers entering a trade. Okay, so we've got that as 10 ticks. So you can imagine the baseline. And then the amount of ticks away. In fact, I might just quickly add an indicator to this this specific chart, and that'll just give us a counter for those ticks, right? So it's called a DTB tick distance counter. Very simple. It's a very simple indicator. As you can choose the font size and whatever, but all it basically does is it tells you at the moment the price is 30 ticks away from the baseline. Okay, that's what that does. Okay, so going back into the strategy, Medina Wick Trader strategy. And sorry for the guys that know the strategy inside out, but you might just pick up something anyway while you're watching this. Okay, so we were over here, right? Okay, so minimum distance 10 ticks. So obviously the price has to move 10 ticks before it considers entering a trade. Now you've got a delay first trade. So you're able to choose how far up the wick or down the wick must the first trade happen. So you can choose a value on there that that you want this trade. So if say you got 40 ticks. And the price is at 35. You're not going to have any trades between 40 and 0. Okay, there's not going to be any trades because you've basically selected. Oh no, that's the minimum distance, right? So delay first trade. If you have this at 40, the price first has to go 40 ticks on the wick and further, and enter a position at that value. So let's put it at 40. Okay. Now the next one is space out. So you can choose whether you want to delay it or not. So if you don't want to delay the first trade, you can untick the box. If you want to, the next option is the space out trades. Okay, so if you want the trades to be spaced out on the candle, like on the wick, you can space them out, which means that they just won't enter all together. So if the price is retracing up and down in one section, you're not going to have multiple entries in that one section. It's going to wait for the price to move out of that range. And there must be a space of 20 ticks, at least 20 ticks between any other position. And so it's going to enter multiple trades on a wick, but it's not going to enter within 20 ticks of each other. So that's how that works. Maximum distance from baseline to enter position. Well, that is basically, you can choose to enter between, like, this is a 200 tick wick. So we'll say like 180. So we don't want the ticks. We don't want any entries beyond 180. and then you've got a tick buffer. So this is basically to stop. This is basically to prevent NinjaTrader from messing up the orders. So basically what it means is it's going to make sure that exits are taken care of first before entries. So there's like a little bit of a buffer. So it's not going to enter positions like immediately on a turnover. And then obviously you can draw the markers. So we're just going to activate. So we'll activate that. Okay, so we'll move on a little bit further because there's still a few more things we've got to cover. So that is that, okay? So that's regarding the specific entries on the wick. Now, this is the next section over here is, this one over here is you can enable this to check for opposite positions first before entering a new trade. So what this means is that every single trade that is entered must either hit its stop or its target before the strategy changes direction. So if you are in long trades over here, all of these trades must exit first before the strategy decides to take short positions. And it's obviously only going to take short positions when the price is above the candle, above the baseline. So that's that setting. Okay, so this is where we start dealing with the stops and targets. Now, the default settings for this is to use the individual or combined target ticks and use individual or combined stop ticks. So what that means is every single trade is going to have like a 57 target and a 200 stop. Okay, that's individually. So it says use individual or combined target ticks. Now, the reason why it says combined is because if you go to the bottom of the strategy and you choose entry handling as all entries, that means combined. Okay, so when you've got that specific setting as combined, then it's going to enter multiple trades. Say it enters 5 trades. The combination of those 5 trades will have a 57 stop. The combination of those 5 trades will have a 200 stop. So it basically combines the stops and targets. If you have this as just unique entries, every single trade will have its own target and stop. So you'll have multiple stops, multiple targets based on where these trades are entering. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, what you can do, and the reason why I'm showing you this on a flat baseline, is you can have a combination of these. But before we go into the combination, let's look at this specific one. So you can choose to have a trailing stop and target. So if you tick this box, every single trade is going to have a 60 tick target, but if the price the stop is going to trail by 160 ticks. And obviously you can change this to any value, right? If you want to make this 200, if you want to make this 50, whatever happens is every single trade that is entered, it'll have a stop target of 50 ticks and it will trail the price by 50 ticks. That's how that works. Okay, so and the cool thing about this is the stop can be moved manually. So if you've got you can't move the target is fixed. Okay, so the target will always be fixed, but the trailing stop, like the actual stop, can be moved away from price or closer to price. So this is how you can manage your stop. So if you don't want the strategy to automatically have a specific stop value, then you could have this trailing stop option, and you can even have it the same value. You can even have it the same value as this, but it just means you've got control over that stop. So if you're looking at a signal chart and you're noticing that the price is, it's showing a signal in the opposite direction, and there's a very good chance that the price is going to go against you, you could say, okay, well, I'm going to move my stop a lot closer. I'm not going to wait for the strategy to exit those positions. I'm going to put my stop closer. Then that will definitely exit those positions. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, the next way of dealing with stops is you can have a very specific target ticks on baseline. So say I select this one over here. So it says use exact target ticks on wick towards baseline. So what I would have over here is if I select this and I select these two over here, what will happen is the trades will enter on the wick, and when this number over here gets to 2, all of those trades will exit. So every trade entered on this wick, if the price returns to the baseline, every one of those trades will exit when the price touches to number 2 over here. So it's basically trading back to the baseline. And it's the same with the stop. If you've got this selected over here, it will enter positions. And if this number goes to 195, then all of those trades will exit. So that's how that works. Now, I know this is a little bit, I'm trying to go through this slowly. and this is why I'm telling you guys to use this on a flat baseline, because it's really helpful when you do that. You can use a combination of stops and targets. So like as an example, you could say, okay, I want to have all trades exit at 195. So when this number hits 195, I want all trades to exit because that's like almost a baseline break. But I want every single trade, instead of it going back to the baseline, I want every single trade to have a 20 tick target. So what will happen now is every single stop will be at 195 ticks, which is 195 ticks from the baseline, but the strategy will have target ticks for every entry of 20. So this is how you're combining the 195 and the 20. Now remember, this only works on a DTB bars chart. You can't have this on like a 5-minute or a 15-minute chart. For a 5-minute or 15-minute chart, you have to use either the trailing stop or the individual or combined. You can't use this because remember, this is calculating a baseline, and the baseline is constant on this, right? I mean, this is the baseline. That is a baseline. On a 5-minute chart, every single new indicator, every single new bar is its own baseline. So you can't have that setting on there because it'll screw up. Okay, so you guys can understand this part, right? So an exact stop, which is like that 195 ticks, and an incremental target. Or, okay, or you can say, you know what, I want to have, I want every single trade to have, excuse me, I want every single trade to exit at 2 ticks over here. And then you can have an individual or combined. So you could say, okay, well, I want every single trade to exit when the price hits 2 ticks from the baseline, but I want every single trade to only have a 50 tick stop. So what will happen now is the price will go on the wick, it'll enter positions. When the price goes 2 ticks from the baseline, it will exit all those positions. Okay, but if the price goes 50 ticks against you on your entries, it will exit those entries. So that is the different way of dealing with stops and targets. As you can see, it's pretty advanced, right? It's not just a simple, 99% of strategies will be like, oh, you just choose a stop and a target. Now, I like to go that deeper level because that's just how my mind works, right? So I love this. I think this is pretty wicked. So let's just go with this. Okay, so we'll activate the strategy now, and let's just choose like let's just go a 50 and a 200. Apply. Okay, so I'll just go to the topic and just make sure. So I don't have any stops and targets. I don't have an account selected. I've got none of that. And I think it's going to be a bit too technical to go into the signal charts today. So right now, we've got our start trading time, our stop trading time. We covered the stops and targets pretty nicely. And there is a document for this, by the way. There is a whole document for the Medina Wick Trader strategy, which you can review. And a lot of what I've just discussed in here is in there. Okay, and then there's your trading days. You've got your account button width. Now, you've got signal chart on here. So I'm just going to deactivate these. And I think we'll go into the signal chart specifically next week, because it's another level of understanding. I don't want to confuse you guys or get you guys overwhelmed on this. So I'm going to disable these signal charts. So whenever you see use signal chart, you can just untick that box. Okay. Minute bars, we just untick. Use trend analysis, unticked. Use smoothing filter, unticked. Use smoothing filter, DTB bars, unticked. So we've got unticked, unticked, unticked. And I'm even going to just untick this one for right now. We're going to cover this because this is not a complicated filter. It's a nice little filter. But initially, I'm just going to deactivate this. There is an enable prints. We don't need to see the prints. So basically, the prints will tell you how the strategy entered. We don't need to see that. And the rest of that. So all of these other settings are okay. I mean, we've got 999 entries per direction here because the strategy is actually managing those entries somewhere else. I'm just going to save this, template save, and I'm just going to call this 1, just so I have it. Apply and OK. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out of this connection and I'm going to go to the playback. Excuse me. So I'm going to activate playback. Now, I've just downloaded a few days of playback. Okay. Okay, now again, sometimes when you load this, NinjaTrader will just it doesn't give you any indication whether it's going to eventually respond. You could come back 10 minutes later, it's like, oh, we're still waiting for the goddamn data to load. So, but it might be because I've got a strategy just loaded on the chart. Remember, it's not enabled, it's just loaded. So there's definitely something that NinjaTrader can do to ignore a loaded strategy and only recognize that strategy once it's been enabled. So that's something that they need to fix up, okay, obviously. If I go and duplicate this window and I close this other one, okay, now there's no strategy loaded on the chart. Okay, and I'm going to go disconnect, and I'm going to go connections, playback, continue. Okay, so there's only an indicator on there, right? I said, look how quick that was. There we go. So that's definitely a little glitch that they need to resolve. I haven't got the time to go and explain it to them. Hopefully they'll watch this video, which they should, because I mean, who wouldn't watch a video from a vendor who's got the most advanced tools on NinjaTrader? I mean, you really want to be following, right? If there's somebody you want to follow, it's somebody that is really putting NinjaTrader through its paces. Anyway, okay. So there we go. So we've got our playback data loaded. I'm going to click on play. So we'll go to the strategy and we will go to the Medina Wick Trader and we'll go template and load, and we'll load that one we just created. Okay, now this one very simply has got the 5200. Okay, there we go. So we're going to activate the strategy here. Now I'm doing some playback because obviously it's the quickest way to show you guys how this works, right? And what I'm also going to do now, actually, before I do anything, so when it says calculating, when NinjaTrader says calculating, do not touch anything. Like literally, don't touch anything. Okay. Only once the buttons have loaded and everything's loaded, then you can start doing things on the chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to data series and I'm just going to put this on center price on scale, just so that we can see the baseline in the middle of the chart. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got the strategy loaded. You'll see it's currently paused because the button is red. okay? And we've got all these filter buttons unticked. So they're all gray. So if by some chance you forget to untick the smoothing filter, you know, in the settings, it'll be green, right? It'll be green. So if you want to not use the filter, you just tick the box, it will untick it. So when you see the chart like this, it means you don't have any of the included or filters included, or none of the, you know, the smoothing average or any of those ones that we left unticked. They're all going to be unticked. Okay, so here we've got some settings. So as you can see, if you look at the text over here, it says minimum enter. So that's our minimum distance. And you'll see if I move the slider, you will see in real time that value moves, right? So there I've made it 82 ticks. So you can see minimum enter is 82, which means that the price has to go first to 82 ticks before it enters any positions. And it's only going to enter positions after that. So there's not going to be any positions at all on this strategy in this block over here, like 0 positions, okay? Because we've got a minimum distance to enter. Now the cool thing is that this this strategy, piss off, man. This strategy has got a built-in tick counter distance. So you see that this number here, the 52 and the 52. Now we don't actually need the indicator on the chart anymore. Okay, so we can go to the indicator settings and we can remove that specific indicator because it's not needed anymore because the strategy has got a built-in indicator. Just one second. Sorry, I just had a tradesperson over here doing some work. Okay, cool. So, okay, so this is telling you how many ticks the price is currently away from the baseline. There's your minimum enter. Now you've also got the maximum enter, you see. So there's your maximum. So I'm gonna drag this. Now remember, this updates in real time. So when the strategy is trading, you are able to adjust these values in real time. It will show you where these values are, and the strategy is going to respect those values. So it's only going to enter there. So same with the max distance. So you can go to the max distance. Remember, you can go for a much larger chart, whatever you want to do, but the max distance is like that. So like say I've made it 109. Okay, so I've got a minimum distance and a maximum distance. So what that means is that the strategy is only going to trade between the max value and the min value. So that's the only place where the strategy will enter positions. Okay, now, like I said, you can do this on all different charts, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, but it's the most simple to understand on this chart because this is it shows you where the baselines are. The values are all very, very simple. Okay, so we're going to disable that. Now, it's the same with the delay. So the delay, you can say, well, you know what? I want the first trade to enter at 85 ticks. Okay, so you might want to increase the max distance over here. What this means is that the strategy must first go to the delay. It must go above the delay, and then it will enter its first trade. But then it will trade anywhere between the max enter and the min enter. So that is the entire range where the price would actually be trading. We're getting to the more exciting stuff. I'm just trying to give you the absolute foundations of this. So, I mean, this is next level shit, right? I mean, you guys, the sliders and everything, I mean, nobody has anything like this, right? It's pretty freaking awesome. Okay, so again, minimum distance, you can adjust that. So you can adjust where the strategy actually trades, and it updates on each tick because that's how the strategy is. So let me just adjust the delay over here also. We've got our stops and targets. So now I'm going to press the start button. So as soon as you press the start button, it's going to go green, and the start button's going to go green, and the pause button's going to go red. Now I'll just go up like this a little bit. Oh, and we've got our space out trades. So you've got space out trades. That's how much the trades will space out when they're entering positions. Now, for some reason, sometimes the first trades do not space out perfectly. So what is supposed to happen over here is the space out between the trades is 20 ticks. So if I go over here and I measure where this trade was and where this trade was, it's 23. So it's definitely gone outside of that range. Okay, so that's what's going to happen now. So you'll see every single trade is going to have a distance between them. So there you've got 1, 2, 3. You've got 4 trades. Now, if you go and measure the distance between these trades, you will see that there's going to be a 20 tick minimum distance between them. So we'll go ahead and activate this. Now remember, this has got no filters, right? So like why you would use this like this. I mean, this is my favorite way to use this chart, by the way. So this is what you would have this chart like this, and then you will have a signal chart. Remember, like we had the show me the money signal chart on there. You see the prices on a wick. You see a breakout marker left behind. You could say, okay, well, I'm going to start the strategy now, and it's going to trade back. Now, like obviously we haven't looked at the signal chart, but like you're seeing it over here, it's not like a set and forget approach, right? I'm just trying to show you the fundamentals of this. So you're going to see now, as the price is going, it's going to exit its positions. So based specifically on the 200 and the 50. So there's the price, doing its thing. It's not entering any more positions because it entered trades already in that zone. So it's not going to enter any more trades within that zone because remember, we're spacing out the trades, right? Okay, and it's going to just enter. That was a nice little wick, and there was a profit target. Okay, so like that's how that works. So you see how in a relatively small period of time you could have a good return on this if you time it properly, right? Because remember, you're going to have lots of wicks. I mean, throughout the day there's going to be lots and lots of wicks on this. And even if when the price is trading and you say I only want to I can see the price is on a wick and everything, but I'm only comfortable entering long positions. So you could click on the long button only, and the strategy will only take long positions. So anytime there's a wick, anytime the price is above the baseline, where it would normally trade down towards the baseline, it won't take those positions because it's only going to trade long positions going back towards the baseline. Okay, so we'll click on both again. So, as you can see, that's how that worked, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just go to the strategy settings. Actually, just before we do that, say you're in positions. Okay, so say you're in positions and you got up to 10 or 12 positions, right? Like this. What you can also do is if you like, okay, well, I'm not comfortable taking any more positions now. I'm going to wait. So you can say, if you click on the start button again, it will say start, paused, no new positions. So what that means is that the strategy will not take any new positions until you decide to press the start button again. So you see it's gone orange, or is that orange or yellow? I don't know. Like a gold color. So basically the strategy is paused at the moment. Okay, it's paused at the moment, but it's still got an open position. So, and then as soon as you say, oh, you know what, I feel like taking more positions, so I'm going to press the start again. And when you press the start again, it will start taking new positions. Okay, so that's how that is going to work. It's a pretty cool strategy. Hey guys, I'm sure you guys are like super impressed. Now, the next thing you can do is you can say, you know what? I do not want to space out the trades. Like, okay, the space out trades, I'm happy to have the strategy enter more frequently So all you need to do is a little hidden feature. You click on the account button. So when you click on the account button, it takes off, it disables the space out trade. So now you're going to have trades entering every time the price retraces 10 ticks. It's going to enter a position. No matter, so you see it's not going to space. See, that entered over there. It entered over there. If I bring up this, like it obviously entered a lot closer, right? You can see. So there's no more spacing out. So you'll have the strategy enter now. It's gonna every time, like every single time the price retraces. So when you would use that is if you're looking at a signal chart and you're like, okay, well, this is an amazing signal. This is a wick. Excuse me. This is a wick that we're on, and I'm happy for this to trade back to the baseline. You can even click on the long only. It's like you're looking at a signal chart and you determining whether you want to start and stop the strategy. So the great thing about a strategy like this is you're not controlling the actual entries themselves. You're not physically entering the positions themselves. You are letting the strategy enter, and all you are controlling is the direction of the trades, the spacing out of the trades, how many entries you want to enter, all of that. So like I will activate this again, and say, for example, I don't want to take any more positions. So I'll click on the start button again, right? So like, okay, well, I've entered these positions, and I've got all my stops and targets. I'm happy with 6 positions, even though the strategy could enter up to 13. I've paused the strategy right now. And like you might be looking at a signal chart now and you think, oh shit, you know what? The signal has completely changed. Okay. So now I'm going to click on the pause button. So you click on the pause button, every single entry will exit. Okay. Now there's no more entries because you paused the strategy and exited it. So you see the difference between the start and the start paused where it's no new positions and the actual pausing of the strategy where it closes all positions. So pretty cool, right? Now, if you want to reintroduce the space out entries, you click on the account button again and it'll reactivate the space out entries and give you the slider. Okay, so we got that again. Okay, so now we've got this again, right? Strategy is going. It's going to space out the entries according to the settings on there. Okay, I'll just pause it over there. So like there's a baseline break. Okay, so at a baseline break, we're going to have the price retrace. Well, you can see what it does. Okay, so remember the delay is going to come into play. So there's the delay. So it's only going to make a decision after the delay has been passed. Okay. It will enter more long positions if the price goes below the baseline. Okay, so generally you'll be looking at this, right? So we'll just let this continue, and I'll just let it. So remember, the price is going to retrace against the position for them to exit. Now remember, if you've got that setting inside the strategy where it says wait for open positions to exit first before entering new positions, then it's going to either hit the stop on the targets. Like there we see we've had more entries over there because the price hit its stop, but we still got entries, right? We still got some entries in play over here. Now, also while you're going, you can delay you can choose the delay. So you can say, well, actually I want to make the delay a bit more. So I'm gonna wait till the price goes 100 ticks first before the first trade. So like this is in real time, right? In real time, you can actually adjust where you want the first trade to enter. So it makes it a lot more fun when you're actually managing a strategy instead of trying to enter positions themselves. Okay, so like we'll just let this run for a little bit. We've got our delay. We've hit some stops over there. We've got some more entries. Okay, so we've got that. Now, what I wanted to do is I'm going to pause this and I'm going to go back into the strategy settings and we're going to change our stop and targets. So you see over there, it says target ticks individual or combined, stop ticks individual or combined. Okay, so we've got that. Are you guys enjoying this? Because I'm going into a shitload of detail here. I hope it's beneficial. I don't mind talking to myself too. I mean, I do it all the time because, you know, often I need expert advice and sometimes I got to hear an intelligent person speak. So I'm always talking to myself, right? Okay. All right. So let's go and adjust this a little bit. Okay. So instead of using this, we're going to use the exact target on the ticks and we're going to use a stop. So let's go and say, we're going to use 100 stop ticks, but we're using an exact target. Let's see how that works. Okay, so here we go. Let's go. All right, thanks, Bruce. At least there's one person listening. Cool. Okay, again, calculating, don't touch anything, man. If you want NinjaTrader to crash, if you want to cause heartbreak, if you want to, you know, ruin your day, click things when NinjaTrader is calculating. Okay, there we go. So now you'll see the buttons, or not the button, these are like labels. You'll see on the label it says exact target ticks on wick, stop ticks individual or combined. Okay, so you see now we've got a different setup. So now if we enter positions, if the strategy enters positions, you'll see, there we go. Okay, so there's a position and you're going to see now that the stop is going to be 100 ticks away from price, okay? And the target is going to be 2 ticks away from the baseline. Now, you will also notice over here, you'll see like a little red line, okay? A little red line. Now, that little red line is if a trade enters at this very point over here, the stop is going to be placed on that red line. So it's giving you a bit of a visual marker of where that stop and target is going to be. So if we run this, okay, we run this, there's more positions. You see multiple positions can enter. They're going to have their individual stops, but all of the targets are going to be when the price goes back to the baseline. Okay, all this could stop out. Look, there's more entries, more entries, more entries. Stop. See, we had a stop loss. Stop loss. We've got problems here, right? Stops, like we stopped. Okay, that was a baseline break. Okay, that was a baseline break, and that's going to happen, right? You know, this is why you got the opportunity to pause the strategy. You got the opportunity to check, you know, what's happening on signal charts. You're able to do all that type of thing. But we're also going to cover something else in a moment that's going to help with this a lot. But I'm just showing you the strategy, how it trades. Okay, how it trades without using any of the filters. Okay, so we're going to continue. I'll just let this run for a bit longer. Okay, so like, look, baseline breakdown, like multiple baseline breaks down, okay? So you don't want to be stuck in this situation. You don't want to be activating a strategy. It's like, oh shit, look at all these baseline breaks down, which is why the next part of the strategy, which I'm going to cover in a moment, is so awesome. But I want to see some of these hit their targets. So I'm just going to let this run again. So there's our baseline, there's the wick, there's all our individual stops, there's our target. We've got 4 entries, 3 entries. See, this is a bit of a shit show at the moment. See, like there's our stops, right? There'll be lots of stops at the moment. But look, see there the price went and touched that 2 tick value. Okay, so that's it. So like I said, guys, like it is over here with 0 filters, it's not a set and forget approach, okay? And then we've got a delay. So we can go to the delay over here, and we can choose the delay to come down a bit. So pretty cool. Like there we had a successful wick where, you know, the price entered on the wick and then they all exited when the price touched the baseline, basically. Okay, so that's that setting. So now we know how that one works. Okay, so let's move away from the stops and targets, because I think you've got a very good indication, or you've got a very good understanding of how the the retracement. And again, with the retracement, you can adjust the retracement value. So if you want it to be higher, you can adjust that higher. We covered all of these. Oh, trade size. A trade size is a very simple thing. So instead of entering one trade size, you can say, oh, you know what? For the next trades, I actually want larger trade size. So I want the strategy to enter 2 trade size instead of 1. So now every time the strategy enters a position, it's going to enter 2. And then you can say, well, you know what? I want to go, 4, 5, I don't know, whatever size you want to do. And this could just be for the next entry, right? I mean, if you're doing this in real time, look, it's entering 5, 10. So that could be for the next entry. And then it's like, okay, well, this is too rich for me now. I want to go back to a 1 trade size. Okay. So just watch this, because now you're looking at max entries, right? There's your max entries. You've got 13. You're currently in 11 trades. They're hitting their stops. You've just blown your freaking account. You're like, oh my God, man, I stuffed up, man. I fucked up. But, you know, that's what happens, right? Don't go too big too soon, okay? All right. So pausing this. Okay, let's move on to the next little part of this. So I'm going to deactivate this strategy. I'm going to pause it. Okay. Did I go and double click something? Oh God, NinjaTrader. Okay, the playback system has just shut itself. Okay, nice, very nice. So I've got to just, it looks like it's frozen on me. I am doing a lot, I guess. Let me try that. Very doubtful of this thing responding, to be very honest. Very freaking doubtful. So don't run too much playback, because it's, you know, I don't know. So new chart. Luckily we're doing this now because it's just showing you how how it's excuse me, how it's working, right? 201. Okay. Connections, disconnect, connections, playback, please just work. Otherwise I've got to restart the whole damn thing, which 90% of the time you actually have to do. I'll be surprised if this just starts working again. Okay, I'm going to quickly restart NinjaTrader. So just give me a second. So task manager, end task. Yep, yes. End task. Kill. Hang on. And I've just paused my screen sharing so I can log in with my stuff. So that's why you're not seeing anything at the moment. But it will start again now. There we go. Okay. So let's go back to playback. Continue. See how fast it loads when you've got nothing on the chart, hey? Damn, I wish I knew that earlier. Why didn't I tell you this shit, man? Anyway, all good. All freaking good. Right, so where were we? Strategies. Shit, what was I going to do? Oh, yes, the filter. Okay. So, Medina Wick Trader strategy. Now, what I've done, you guys ran... Oh, so if we have a look at the DTB Traders Medina Wick Trader chat, right? So I ran this strategy last week, and you can see there's some, this is you guys trading this, right? And I also traded this. Let's have a look at some of these. So like that. So there we go. So I've activated the strategy. There's multiple baseline breaks. There's a shitload going on here, but there's lots of trades, lots of wicks spaced out. You know, this was real time. This is not playback, by the way. This is just real time on sim. Okay. But, you know, like the thing was trading. Okay. So that was a trending baseline chart. You can see, look, there's baseline break, losing positions, baseline break, losing, but there's lots of wicks. You see, there's lots and lots of wicks where the price is trading. And even with all of those baseline breaks, I was still up $460 on a small target, bigger stop. You know, this is on real time too. This is a 15-minute chart. So, you know, okay, this one had a lot more drawdown. Look, there's a lot more losing positions over there. this was using the individual or combined target ticks. This is the first one we looked at. Okay. So there's Bruce. You know, there, you see, if you activate, and this is a trending baseline, okay? So not the flat baseline, which is the exact same approach. Remember, this is the baseline. These are the wicks. So it's just not a flat baseline. This is a trending baseline. So same thing over there. You can activate the strategy on these wicks and kick ass. I mean, that's what this thing does. It's a kick-ass strategy, right? And here is another one here, just trading on a 5-200 chart, trending baseline chart. Look, we even had some, you know, losing positions because the baseline broke, but we had lots of positions on the wick, and it makes a good return. The thing about this is it can recover absolutely quickly if it's in a drawdown. And it can kick ass. It absolutely kicks ass. So I'll just go back to, just pop some questions in the group calls chat if you want to ask anything, right? Okay, so we were back over here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load that template. So I'm going to go template load. So the exact same template that I showed you all of those screenshots for is this one over here. So you guys have got this template. So this template, you will see over here, I mean, you can obviously adjust your daily stops and targets. I've kind of just got that open at the moment. But on this specific template, you can see I've made a delay a bit bigger. There's your stops and targets. Now you'll see over here is I have ticked the box to use this one over here, the manipulation filter. So you'll see over here, there it's got a positive manipulation threshold and a negative manipulation threshold. So what that means is that it's going to have 0.25 is positive and minus 0.25 is negative. So you can adjust these values because they're in increments of, you know, of 0.1, 0.01 actually. So you can adjust that. So what this means is that the strategy is only going to enter long trades when the positive threshold has been met, and it's only going to enter short trades when the negative threshold has been met. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go enable, apply, and OK. All right, so now that we've got that, wait for the thing to finish calculating. Now, this is an additional filter that's not part of the original filters. That's why you're not going to see any of the boxes ticked at the moment. In fact, I'm going to incorporate this one into one of the buttons or add a button. Okay, so now we're going to go to the indicators because we added the manipulation filter as an indicator in the strategy. We can add it to the chart also, so it can give us the value. So if you go to the DTB manipulation detector, all right, you'll see over here it's just got the line. So there's two different ways that you can display this. Okay, you can display it on price. So if I click on apply and okay, you will see that this filter is applied to price. Okay, if you go to the indicator and you if you untick this box and you go apply, I'm doing things very tenderly because this thing, it'll just put it over there. So if you don't want to see that value on the price line itself, it'll just be on top there and show you the value. Okay, so that's how that works. So go back into the indicator settings, and I'm going to, sorry, this is a longer call than expected, so I apologize. But you guys can come back later, right? So I'm going to just apply this over here. Okay. Now, only in real time is this one good. So what this means is this is minus now, you see? So it's only going to enter short positions when this is minus and long positions when it's plus. So if I click on the start button and I let this run. Now, remember the value is 0.25, but we've got a delay. So I'm going to run this. Okay, so you see this number here, it's minus. So when this is minus, it's not going to enter long trades because it's not in the right zone. there's a good chance that this could be a baseline break because this is minus. So, I mean, there it didn't. But I mean, when you are looking at this baseline chart and you are seeing a minus number, don't go and trade up because your chance of success is a lot reduced, because when this number is minus, you know, the momentum of price is going down. Okay, so I'm just speeding this up a little bit. So you see this number minus, 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 the baseline break. You see, so it did not take any trades on that baseline break because it was minus the whole time, you see? So that is the benefit. So remember how earlier we had multiple baseline breaks to the downside? So there we had an entry because it was minus. You see, if you got minus on an up bar, it will enter positions. Only if you've got plus on a down bar will it enter positions. See, it's not entering positions, because this is minus. It's got to be plus 0.25 to enter. So it's basically filtering out trades based on higher probability entries. So like this one over here, look, this could be a baseline break there, a baseline break. So we're trying to avoid baseline breaks because this filter is giving us a good thing. Now, obviously, it's not going to be 100. It's not going to get it 100% accurate every time. Okay, look, there's multiple baseline breaks. We'd had no losing positions because that filter really helped us out there. I'll just go a bit faster on this. Now, unfortunately, playback doesn't run. See, there are multiple baseline breaks. But look, we've got a minus number and an up bar. Now, again, look. This could be, I mean, it's a minus number, but we still had a baseline break. Okay, there was a baseline break. So, like I said, it's not going to always be 100. It's not going to always prevent all losing positions, obviously. But it's definitely going to help a shitload with losing positions. It's going to definitely reduce your losing positions considerably having a filter like this. So again, it's not going to enter any long positions on a up bar, but it's going to enter long positions when the number is plus, so it's entering long positions. So it's just helping you think. Now, remember, at any time you can pause it, right? Okay, so yeah, we've got a few losing positions. That's okay. See, it didn't enter any positions up here because that filter was not right. So you guys will be very surprised. You know, even though we're in a bit of a drawdown at the moment, you'll be surprised how quickly this turns around and makes a profit. And you know what? While we are looking at this, we can also now change. I might just pause this. I'm going to go to the strategy and we'll just do this one last thing and then we can be done, okay? Because then next week we'll cover more of the signal chart. So we're just covering one of the little filters in the strategy. It gets very exciting, guys, as we progress through all the filters. Okay, I'm going to change this to a trending baseline. So let's go a 5-200. So DTB Traders is the inventor of the flat baseline and the trending baseline. Okay, nobody else had it before. One guy copied it, but like I said last week, he did a shitty job. Anyway, so there is our trending baseline. So I'm going to go back to the strategies and I'm going to, actually one guy didn't copy it. One guy stole my code and gave it and is now working for a competitor, okay? Because he worked on my strategies before. Anyway, I don't care. Karma, I believe in karma. And karma gets those bitches, man. Gets them. There we go. All right, so again, we're waiting for, like, the buttons got information. We're going to just, so let's run this now on a trending baseline. So remember, we've got all our delays in place. We've got our space out. We've got everything in position over here. Remember I said sometimes it enters in the same spot, just once or twice. It doesn't do that often. So now also, while we're going, we can adjust the target tick. So you do not have to have like a specific value. You can adjust your target and your stop as you go in real time. So, You know, if you want to chase a larger target, if you want to chase a smaller target, all of that is accessible via the sliders. So you do not have to go and restart the strategy. Okay. So you don't have to restart the strategy for that to take effect. So we had some retracements again. So, you know, it's not going to catch every single baseline break, but as you guys saw in the, you know, the Medina Wick Trader chat over there, even if you have multiple baseline breaks, you know, it does turn around. But again, you know, it is a really good idea to be, you know, to be managing the strategy as regards to starts and stops, because you could be looking at a signal chart and you could see, look, we've had a few baseline breaks over there, but look, we almost back in profit again. So that's the beauty of this thing, is it kind of turns around and starts, you know, making a profit. So all you need is a nice little baseline run like this. You got the price in negative, you know, and you're off to the races, man. I'm telling you, you're off to the races. So yeah, you know, you can have that. You can adjust your stops. You can bring them back in. You can have a smaller stop. So you might say, well, you know what, I want to just have a much smaller stop. So instead of having a 60 stop, I want to have 100 stop. So you see the stop is much closer. So now, even if you have baseline breaks, your stop is a lot closer. Like there, we had a baseline break, but look, the stop was much smaller, you see? So there, baseline break, stop much smaller. So, I mean, you know, there's a few things that you can manage while you are running the strategy by adjusting these figures. See, look, I think this is such an incredible strategy to work with. Like I said, the very, very best way of using it is to look at a signal chart, choosing the start and the stop of it. You know, it makes a big difference when you are more in control of the signals. But, you know, the signal charts that we're going to look at next week is definitely a big helper in that. So look, we went into a drawdown over there, got more stops. I do think though that the stop ticks is a bit of an issue, so that's got to be increased a bit. See, there's some, look at this. So you're going to have playback where this happens. Okay, this is called corrupted data. Okay, this is what is called corrupted data. Look at this target. You see this one over here? The NinjaTrader just shut itself, basically. The data became corrupted. It's not accurate data. So the problem with playback data is it's not 100% accurate, which is why it's a good idea to run this in you know, in live conditions and watch it in action. So a few inaccurate entries there, but a lot of them are still right. Okay, it's giving you a very good concept and idea of how the strategy actually works, because this is you know, it's showing you. So playback is there to show you how the strategy works. I wouldn't 100% trust all of the data, because you're going to have slightly inaccurate fills and slightly inaccurate things on this. Okay, so that's it, guys. I've covered enough about this for today's session. Next week we'll go more into the specific signal charts that come up with that are with the system, and we'll cover that. So remember, if you guys want to load this, always load 0 days. Okay, just load 0 days, because the less that NinjaTrader has to calculate and work with, because remember, there's no historical data on this, right? So when you activate the strategy, it's only going to start trading from where you activated it. It's not going to plot historical trades. So just bear that in mind. Okay, thank you guys for jumping on the call. I hope it was very informative, and I hope you guys kick ass with the strategy. I mean, it's such a beautiful strategy, and you can imagine the power of it when you're combining it with the signal chart, and you're starting and you're pausing it, and you're choosing the different distances, you're choosing different trade sizes in real time. I mean, it's much more fun managing a strategy than it is physically entering trades. Because remember, when you're physically entering trades, you're focusing on the candle where you're entering the trades. Whereas when you are managing a strategy, you're able to look at a much bigger picture, because you're not focused on specific entries. So it puts you in a whole different league of thinking and a whole different capacity to be able to absorb a lot more of the data instead of the individual candle and the individual price where you're entering and exiting. Remember, you can still adjust your target and stops. So have a plan in place where you are still managing your targets and stops according to the strategy, and you can adjust those in real time, but rather look at a bigger picture like a signal chart and determine based on that whether you want to take long entries or short entries. I mean, you might go through an entire trading day where you only select long entries. It might be, you might see a trend and the tools are telling you, okay, the trend for the day is up. So all you do is you go onto the strategy settings and say, okay, I'm only comfortable taking long trades for the whole day. Okay, like only long trades. Now, like I just did that now, right? So obviously any positions that you are in will still have to exit, but the strategy now is only going to take long positions. So even if the wick is going again, like this, going the other way, it's only going to take long positions. So we can watch this for a second, a bit longer. And remember, you can choose, do you want to pause the strategy temporarily? Is it around new? What the fuck happened there? Okay, so something didn't work 100% there. It was supposed to do long only. I wonder what happened there. That's very odd. Okay, but that worked. I just blew up my exit. That's fine. I'll have a look at that. But yeah, long entries only, short entries only, or both. I'll review that. Just maybe don't play around with that feature for right now. But that should definitely only have entered long entries. I'll keep an eye on that and just see. Very interesting. Maybe that manipulation filter has just overridden it slightly. There's a chart. That's possibly what could have happened. That specific filter that I've just added, that manipulation filter, may have overridden and reset the long to short based on that filter. But no problem. I can look at that. There's always little things you got to look at, right? Anyway, so that's use it for both directions at the moment. Let it trade. Pause it when you want to pause it and go from there. Okay, guys, have an amazing week. I've still got to work on the game plan for the week ahead. We'll keep with the Medina wick trader strategy, not the Medina, the baseline wick trader strategy. It seems to have really quietened down. The market's a lot more predictable now, a lot more stable, a lot more, relaxed. So we'll do that. So guys, thanks for jumping on the call. And we will 2 hours. Jesus, I need a break after this, man. I need to have a whiskey or something. It's only like 12 a.m. It's almost lunchtime. Okay, guys, have an amazing week. Check the game plan chat later before the US session starts. Continue posting your results. Thank you for that. And if you've got any guys that are interested in the DTB system, you've got a kick-ass system of I know some of you guys want to keep it to yourself. But yeah, share it a little bit, I mean, I don't have a marketing team to go and promote the shit out of this. So I rely on word of mouth. I am going to employ somebody to do that, but I've liked to keep it very personal at this stage. But obviously I'm building a big company with a whole support center. And the quicker I can get more subscribers, the quicker I can get all that back end system in place where people are doing optimizations and they're doing a lot of back-end template creations, because I've obviously, I'm not going to go and put my own capital into this to hire people. I'm relying specifically on subscribers to be able to draw to increase the subscriber base and have that whole back-end system. I believe I've done enough already. So, we just need to get a few more guys on board and we'll kick some ass. Hey guys, chat to you later. Have an excellent week. All right. Thanks for jumping on. Cheers.